Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the Hopkinton High School turf fields as we are just about ready for some JV football on HCAM. It's the Hopkinton Hillers against the Holliston Panthers. The Hillers will receive the opening kickoff. Holliston won the toss but deferred. And the JV team hoping to come through with a win against Holliston after the freshman team fell just a little bit short this past Friday. And also the varsity team gave Holliston a good run on Saturday, but came up short in that game, 37-27 over at Holliston High School. So we'll see what the JV1 team can do if they could get a victory here this afternoon. Both programs are very excited about what's to come this season, and they both have very bright futures. A lot of talent up and down these rosters. So I think it's going to be a well thought out close game here today. Tom Nappy happy to be on the call with you. John Ritz on camera. And the weather cannot get any more perfect than it is today. Temperatures are in the low 60s, a nice breeze, the sun is out shining, and it's perfect weather for football. And perhaps some of the players out there maybe like it a little cooler than this, but this is perfect for us, so we'll take it. As Holliston gets set up and they're ready to kick it away. Handling the kickoff will be Colin Kerr, a sophomore. Pair back to receive for the Hillers, as it's going to be a low kickoff that'll sail along the ground. Seamus Murphy will return it, and he's going to have a very good return. There he goes across midfield to the 20, the 10, and right into the end zone. How about that? An opening kickoff return for a touchdown for the Hopkinton Hillers, and just like that, we have a 6-0 game. Seamus Murphy showing off the wheels. And that'll make it a 6-0 lead for the Hillers. And they will attempt the extra point. The offense comes out to the field, and perhaps they'll go for two here. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to line up Wyatt Stevens, the sophomore, out of the gun. Back to his right. And he is going to hand it off to Colby Lynette, who's going to be brought down, Leave Lynette, sophomore. And the conversion is unsuccessful, but the Hillers are off to a 6-0 lead over the Holliston Panthers. An opening kickoff return for a touchdown by Seamus Murphy. Seamus Murphy, a multi-sport athlete in his sophomore year. And now the Hillers will kick off after a perfect start. Can't really get much better than an opening kickoff returned for a touchdown. Avery Ravitch set to kick it away. And we'll send it sailing end over end back to about the 10-yard line. And it'll be returned to about the 35. So that is where the Holliston offense will start their first drive. Pretty good return there by Joey Gentile. So we'll do our best to keep you informed of the time situation. So the Holliston offense out on the field. And they're going to line it up with a receiver spread out to either side. Slot receiver to the left with a man in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff. And a pretty good run up to about the 38. Pickup of about 3. Looks like they'll give him the 39. So mark him for 4. Quarterback for the Holliston Panthers is TJ Kiley. He's going to line it up out of the gun. With the back to his left and a man in the backfield, and he'll hand it off to the up back, who will take it just across midfield. That'll move the chains for the Panthers. Up to about the Hillers' 48-yard line goes Cooper Olson. So a nice run there. And they mark him right at the 48. So that was a 13-yard run for the Holliston Panthers. As we are going to get a stoppage here. Was there a false start? Yes, there was. Holliston will move back 5. Holliston marched back 5 yards into their own territory at their own 47-yard line. That makes it a 1st and 15. Out of the gun is Joey Gentile, the quarterback, or excuse me, that is TJ Kiley, and the snap is high, and it's going to be picked up in the backfield by the running back, Cooper Olson, who was brought down for a huge loss. So things not starting off too well for Holliston. That's a loss of about 15 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and very long. First down marker all the way at the Hillers' 38-yard line. Holliston at their own 23, out of the gun. It's going to be a handoff once again. Here goes Cooper Olson to the near side. And he's driven out of bounds after a pretty good gain. We'll mark him at the 27, a pickup of 5 there. That brings up 3rd down for Holliston. Back to the line they go, out of the gun, Kiley. The receiver spread out to either side. Another high snap into the backfield. It goes, picked up by Olson, and he's going to try to take it up the middle, and he is going to be brought down for a loss. Back at around the 22. Loss of about 5 there. And you wonder if the struggles continue at center, if Holliston will change things up. So that makes it 4th down and pretty long. They need to get all the way to the Hillers 38 for the first down, so they're likely going to punt it away here. I would say that's a smart decision by the Holliston coaching staff. But let's see if they indeed do punt it away. The snap was a little bit low and bobbled, and the punt is not going to go very far. And it is picked up at the Holliston 44. So the Hillers will bring their offense back out to the field and start off with very good field position at the Holliston 44-yard line. And Hopkinton with a big opportunity here to go ahead early in this one. They're up 6-0 after an opening kickoff returned for a touchdown by Seamus Murphy. Hiller's going to line it up out of the pistol this time. The quarterback, Wyatt Stevens, takes the snap. He'll throw to his right, and it is caught for a short gain. On the reception there, that was Colby Lave-Lynette. The ball is marked at the 41, a pickup of 3 on that last pass. Stevens going to line it up out of the gun, back to his left. A 4-receiver set with 3 spread out to the near side. Takes the snap, looks to his left, under pressure, throws up the middle, and it's dropped by his intended target, Paul Leischer, the sophomore. And that'll bring up 3rd down for the Hillers, and 7 to go. Hillers 3rd and 7 at the Holliston 41. As Wyatt Stevens comes back out to the huddle. A tremendous athlete. We had the opportunity to watch him quite a bit in his middle school days. Did a great job with that team, and also a good basketball player as well. He'll line it up out of the gun, back to his left, 2 receivers either side, takes the snap. And he is going to backpedal, throws up the left side, and it's incomplete. Good defensive coverage. Intended target, Braden Hicks. And on defense, that was Aiden Ibbotson. That'll bring up 4th down for the Hillers. They are in Holliston territory, so we'll see what they do here. Couple substitutions by the Hillers. And they are going to punt it away here. At least that's how it appears. And the snap is going to get away from the punter, Matthew Hunt. And he is brought down all the way back at the Hillers 40-yard line. So now Holliston will have an opportunity to start a drive with very good field position. So Holliston brings their offense back out to the field, working left to right across your screen. And they will start their second drive of the game from the Hillers 40. So loss of several yards there. That brings up second down for Holliston. First down marker is at the 30-yard line. So that is second and about 18 to go. Kylie going to line it up out of the gun, a two-back set. He'll hand it off to the up back, and barreling up the middle is going to be Olsen. And he takes it right back to about where Holliston started this drive, to the 40-yard line. A pickup of 8 yards for Olsen. We're in the first quarter. Remains a 6-0 Hillers lead. The only score on the opening kickoff. A return of about 80 yards by Seamus Murphy. And Holliston getting the play call from the sideline. Out of the gun is TJ Kiley, a sophomore. Olsen in the backfield. He'll hand it off to Olsen, and here he goes up the middle, breaking tackles. Crosses the 35, and he's brought down at around the 34. A good pickup there of about 6. That'll bring up fourth down, however, for Holliston. And I'd imagine TJ Kiley is some relation to the Holliston varsity head coach, Todd Kiley. So Holliston is going to keep the offense on the field, at least that's how it appears. As Kiley will get back, takes the snap, looks to pass, throws up the right side, has a target, and it's caught. A big reception to Rohith Ramanathan. And Holliston is in business. First down plus a whole lot more. They are in the red zone. Ball is marked at about the, looks like the 4-yard line. So first and goal from the 4. Nice pass there by TJ Kiley. 30-yard gain on the reception. Kiley going to line it up out of the gun. A man in the backfield. He will hand it off. And trying to burst up the left side of the defense is Olsen. And he is stopped, looks like at around the line of scrimmage. We'll see where they mark him. Looks like a small loss there for Olsen of about a yard. That brings up second and goal for Holliston from the 5-yard line. Kiley going to line it up out of the pistol. Olsen in the backfield, and he'll get the call once again up the middle, and he is stuffed. A nice stop there by the Hillers. In on the tackle was Jonathan Dickin, the junior. And that is a loss of about a yard there. So the Hillers defense showing some good strength against the run game. Holliston gets the play call, and there was play action involved in the play call, so it appears it will likely be a passing play. Kiley out of the gun, Olsen in the backfield, play action, throws to his left, it is caught, but not much there for Nick Larsh. Looks like he got a couple before he was driven out of bounds along the far side. That'll bring up fourth and goal for Holliston. And I would imagine in this situation they will certainly go for it. line goes the offense. Kiley out of the gun. Olsen in the backfield. He'll get the call, and he doesn't get very far. Another good stop by the Hillers defensive front. And with another tackle, that was Jonathan Dickin. So no gain on the play for Holliston, and we'll have a turnover on downs. The Hillers will get the ball back. We'll start off deep in their own territory, but a good stand by the defense, and that's going to be the end of the quarter. We'll switch sides and take a timeout after one. It's Hopkinton 6, Holliston nothing. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Hillers JV football on HCAM. And welcome back in to the turf fields here at Hopkinton High School. We have switched sides and are ready for the second quarter. The Hillers have the ball deep in their own territory at the Holliston 3 after forcing a turnover on downs. Hopkinton working left to right across your screen. And it is going to be a run that will not get very far. It looks like we do have a new quarterback out there for Hopkinton. Robert Lisher in at quarterback. Looks like maybe a yard or so on the run. And that's what JV's all about, getting the players some experience at many different positions, seeing what they're best at. And at this level, you'll certainly see a lot of substitutions as this game goes on. Lisher out of the gun, and he is going to take it himself, trying to find some room along the far side. Doesn't get very far. A good stop there by Holliston's David Villa. Pickup of about a yard. That brings up third down for the Hillers. Ball marked at around the 5. The Hillers huddle up and back to the line they go. And Lisher takes the snap. He'll throw to his right, and it is caught. Trying to break free and push out of bounds along the near side was Seamus Murphy coming up with another big play. And it was close as to if he got enough for the first down. Looks like they're going to mark him just a couple yards short. So pickup of about 4 yards there. And that brings up a 4th and 4 to go situation for Hopkinton. And don't be surprised if they go for it. JV, obviously you want to try to win these games, but mostly they're for getting experience and getting better in certain situations. Lisher is out there. And it looks like he will likely punt it away. No, he thought about passing, and now he's under pressure. He hesitated. Now, did he lose the football? And the official is going to mark it down, but the question is, does Holliston have it? Yes, they do. So a fumble by the sophomore, Robert Lisher, and Holliston recovers. And Holliston will have very good field position as they will start this drive off in the red zone. They are going to start from the Hopkinton 6-yard line. Holliston working right to left across your screen. And at quarterback TJ Kiley, he'll line it up with Olsen to his right, and he'll hand it off. Olsen trying to break through, and he's brought down, but does pick up a couple. A number of Hiller's defenders in on the stop. And there's a flag on the field. It looks like Holliston might be marched back here. And I believe there was a holding call. And the guilty party is number 51 for Holliston, sophomore Bryson Mustard. So the situation becomes a little bit more difficult for Holliston now. As they are facing a first and long from about the 20-yard line as Kiley fakes the handoff under pressure, and he will complete to his intended target along the far side and pick up some of that yardage lost on the holding call. It'll bring up second down. And we apologize, a little bit difficult to see the exact yard line they marked it on with our vantage point, but we're doing our best. It looks like at around the 10. So there's a pickup of about 10 yards on the reception. Kiley going to line it up out of the gun. Olsen in the backfield. 2 receivers spread out to either side. Takes the snap, airs it out along the right side, nearly intercepted and batted down by the defender. Batting down that pass, that was Wyatt Stevens. Wyatt Stevens, just one of those guys that could do it all. Of course, you'll see him at quarterback, and right now he's in the game at defensive back. And that brings up 3rd and goal for the Holliston Panthers. As Kiley looks over to the sideline to get the play call. Back to the line goes Kiley. He'll line it up out of the gun. Olsen is to his right. He has 2 receivers spread out to either side. Takes a high snap, pulls it down, hands it off to Olsen, and he's brought down for a loss. bursting through the offensive front to get to Olsen was the sophomore Devin Canty. A great stop there by the Hillers defense. And that brings up 4th down for Holliston. But seeing how they are pretty deep in Hillers territory, the question is, will they go for it? It is 4th and goal from about the 20, and if the Hillers stop them here, that is very impressive considering Holliston started this drive at the Hopkinton 6-yard line. Kiley going to line it up out of the gun. Olsen in the backfield. He'll take the snap, throws to his left, has a target, and it's incomplete. Getting in there was Braden Hicks as he's able to knock it away from the intended target, Colin Kerr. And that was a good defensive play by Hicks. Kerr thought he had Hicks burnt, appeared to be open, but the sophomore able to leap up and knock it down, and the Hillers will get the ball back. A turnover on downs. And this game quickly turning into a defensive affair. Ball is marked at the 20-yard line. Hillers working left to right. And at quarterback is Wyatt Stevens. Out of the gun with the back to his right, takes the snap. He's going to try to take it himself. Up the middle he goes. And he's wrapped up and taken down by either Brady Sweeney or Joseph Tomaselli, 2 number 20s on the roster. He was able to pick up about 5 yards, it appears. They marked him at the 25. So a nice little run there by Wyatt Stevens. Stevens takes the snap, hands it off. Cutting towards the near side and ran out of bounds is Colby Lave-Lynette. And he got enough for the first down. Hillers move up to the 35-yard line, a 10-yard pickup for Lave-Lynette. Biggest run of the day so far by Hopkinton. Stevens going to line it up out of the gun. Lave-Lynette to his right, 2 receivers either side. Takes the snap, hands it off, run up the middle. Doesn't get very far, a couple yards there by Lave-Lynette. He was brought down by Jimmy Parmisi. And that brings up 2nd down. And about 7 yards to go. Stevens lines it up out of the gun. Lave-Lynette to his left, takes the snap, throws to his right, and it's batted down. Intended target was Paul Lisher, and it was batted down by the defender there, Matthew Hunt. And that brings up 3rd down. And about 7 to go for the Hillers. Out of the gun they go once again. Stevens going to line it up with an empty backfield. And he is going to try to take this himself. Eludes some pressure and bounces out to the near side. And he's still on his feet, pushed out of bounds at around midfield. All the way to the 49 he goes, and that's enough to move the chains. A nice run there by Stevens as he's able to extend this drive. was a pickup of about 14 yards on that run by Wyatt Stevens, the speedy sophomore. Well, he was a force to be reckoned with on the basketball courts, and certainly in his middle school days, and certainly one to be reckoned with in this game. Stevens out of the gun with a back to his right, takes the snap, has time, throws up the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Paul Lischer, and Nick Larsch on defense, able to knock it away, nearly had an interception there. Perhaps a little miscommunication there. Doesn't seem that Stevens' target was where he wanted him. And that brings up 2nd and 10. Stevens out of the pistol this time with a man in the backfield, 2 receivers either side, takes a snap, rolls to his left, throws to his left, and it's incomplete. And it lands just in front of his intended target, Andrew Budden. And that brings up 3rd and 10 for the Hillers. Well, Hopkinton trying to open up the field a little bit here. And they'll likely have to have another pass attempt here, facing a 3rd and long situation. Out of the gun they go. Stevens with a back to his left, 3 receivers spread out to the left side. And he'll take the snap, rolls to his left, airs it out, up the field, and it's incomplete. Good coverage by the Holliston secondary. Intended target Seamus Murphy. And in on defense for Holliston was Nick Larsch, along with Matthew Hunt. And that'll bring up 4th and 10 for the Hillers. They are at their own 49, so they may take a gamble here and go for it, especially with how well their defense has played. And we're going to get a Hillers timeout here in the 2nd quarter. A 6-0 Hopkinton lead. We are, I believe, pretty close to through this 2nd quarter. A few minutes left. There is no score clock operator, unfortunately, so we'll play the guessing game a little bit here. But just to recap how this game has went so far, it started off with an opening kickoff touchdown, an 80-yard opening kickoff return by Seamus Murphy. And then pretty much the defense took over. There was some snap issues by Holliston on their first drive, which put them back pretty deep in their own territory. The Hillers forced the punt. And then on the next drive, Hopkinton would end up punting. And then you had a turnover on downs, a Hillers fumble, and then another turnover on downs by Holliston. And here we are. Out of the gun is Stevens, and he will take it and punt it away. And it'll land all the way back at the Holliston 15. Takes a nice Hillers roll, but it did go into the end zone, so it will be a touchback. And the Holliston defense comes through as they force the punt, and we'll get the ball back. So a touchback there, and Holliston will start this drive from their own 20. Sun drenching this beautiful turf field here at Hopkinton High School. Keeping everybody watching the game and out there nice and warm. Of course, the fan situation a bit different with both teams on the same sideline, which is the sideline that fans would typically be on, but they had to move the fans over to the area towards us as the Hillers defense comes through big here, bursting through the offensive front and bringing down Kylie for the sack was Riley Finnegan. So Finnegan with a great play there. And Holliston will face a second and long situation as we get another timeout. Ball is marked all the way back at the 8-yard line. So loss of 12 yards on the sack. It remains a 6-0 Hopkinton lead. And the Hillers defense just continues to be impressive so far today. Both defenses have actually been very impressive. There hasn't been an offensive score yet in this game. It's really just been a chess match between these two defenses. The only difference, of course, the opening kickoff return for a touchdown. John Ritz on camera, Tom Nappy on the call here on this beautiful Monday evening at Hopkinton High School. As Holliston talking things over here on the timeout. And they'll need a couple lengthy plays to extend this drive. They are facing a 2nd and 22 from the 8-yard line. First down marker all the way at the 30. Kylie out of the gun, takes the snap, looks upfield under pressure, and he's brought down. Another Hillers sack. Teaming up was Riley Finnegan and Devin Canty to bring down Kylie. And we get another timeout called here with time running low in the second quarter. Ball is marked at the 5-yard line, so it was a smaller loss that time, but certainly not what you want if you're Holliston. And this Hillers defense putting just tremendous pressure on TJ Kylie. He does not have a lot of time to move around and find open space. These Hillers defenders certainly doing very well in the battle in the trenches. And Holliston will need a big play here in this third and very long situation. Actually, looks like the ball might be marked at the 3-yard line. So it ended up being a loss of 5 on that last sack. And it appears Holliston's going to come out of the war package, which is something that the Holliston program is very known for, similar to a flexbone package. And they'll get a pretty good gain here by Olsen. They have a man in the backfield, a slot back to either side, and you never know who's going to get the ball. And they produce all kinds of trickery coming out of their war package formation. Ball marked looks from here around the 8-yard line, so pick up a 5 on that last run by Olsen, and Holliston took another timeout to reserve clock. Actually could have been the Hillers taking the timeout to reserve clock to maybe get another opportunity at another drive, and it was that last time because it is 4th down here. Snap, and it is going to go over the head of the punter into the end zone, and that is going to be a safety. So over the head of Dominic Marino it goes, and it results in a safety and 2 points for the Hillers, and they'll get the ball back with an 8-0 lead. So it doesn't get any better than that for the Hillers. You get those 2 points, which would mean for Holliston to get back into this game, they would need the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, and you get the ball. So Holliston set to kick it away. Christopher Pacheco will tee it up. And kick off right to left across your screen. And he sends it sailing at about mid-level, end over end it goes, back to about the 45, and here comes Wyatt Stevens on the return. And he was looking for a very good return there, but was able to work his way into Holliston territory. If he broke one more tackle, he might have had it all. But a good return there by the sophomore, Wyatt Stevens. And the Hillers offense will come back out to the field and start this drive from the Holliston 40-yard line. The Hillers not a whole lot of time to work with left in this first half, but they're going to try to get some big gains here and perhaps some more points before the end of the half. Lisher out of the pistol, takes the snap, rolls to his right, under pressure, throws upfield, incomplete. He was looking for Andrew Budden, but good coverage by the Holliston secondary as the defensive chess match continues between these two TVL rivals. 2nd and 10 now. The Hillers will huddle up, talk things over. Clock is stopped, of course, after the incomplete pass. Lisher going to line it up out of the gun, back to his right. 3 receivers spread out to the right as well. He'll throw a screen, and it's dropped by Andrew Budden. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10 for Hopkinton. So he was hoping to hit Budden on the draw play, but he just couldn't reel it in. And the Hillers will need a big play here to extend this drive. Lisher out of the gun, takes the snap. Looks to his left, and it's incomplete off the hand of his intended target. That time he was looking for Michael Burney, the junior. That brings up 4th down and 10 for the Hillers from the Holliston 40. Well, you're towards the end of the half. Your defense has been playing well, so seeing that they're in Holliston territory, I'd imagine they'd go for it here. And it appears that the Hillers are going to be switching up between Robert Lisher, who's out there now, and Wyatt Stevens at quarterback throughout this game. Lisher with an empty back set, takes the snap, and he will throw up the middle, has a target, and it's hauled in at around the 20 and taken to about the Holliston 11. Michael Burney on the reception. And a big gain there for the Hillers to extend this drive. Despite the fact that they had that big pass, it appears it will not matter because we are heading into the halftime break. And at the half, it is Hopkinton 6, Holliston nothing. The second half coming up next on HCAM. And we are ready for the second half. The Hillers will kick off left to right across your screen. It is an 8-0 lead for the Hillers as we enter this third quarter. I apologize. I believe I accidentally said 6-0 as the half ended, but forgot about the safety. They did get the safety on the botched snap on a attempted punt by Holliston. So as we start this third quarter, Holliston will have some work to do to get back into this game. As the opening kickoff will sail all the way to the end zone for a touchback. And the Panthers will start at their own 20-yard line. So we'll see if Holliston can get some offense going. This Hillers defensive front has been a tall task for the Panthers throughout this game. And we get a whistle here. Did we have a false start? Yes, we did. So Holliston will move back 5. That'll make it a 1st and 15 from the 15. Kylie going to line it up out of the gun. Olsen in the backfield, 2 receivers either side. He'll hand it off to Olsen, and here he goes along the far side, finds some room, and he's brought down after a good gain. Ran out of bounds at around the 28. And that is going to be a pickup of about 13 yards for Olsen. That is tied for the biggest run of the day for Holliston. Olsen had a 13-yarder in the first half, 15 yards overall rushing for Olsen, but he nearly doubles it with the one play there. Kylie out of the gun. Olsen in the backfield once again. Up the middle he goes, and he is pushing defenders forward, showing off the power, and he's able to pick up a couple. Wrapped up pretty quick, but showed the force. Robert Lisher in on the stop, along with Kevin Prasanna. Ball is marked at the 32-yard line. And they're having some trouble here with the down marker, trying to get it to first down. So Holliston able to overcome a false start right at the beginning of the half and extend this drive. Kylie out of the pistol this time. Hands it off. It's going to be a run up the middle, and pushing his way forward is Devin Harding. And he gets close to another first down. Did he have enough? Yes, he did. They'll mark him at the 46-yard line. A 14-yard pickup by the freshman. Actually, that might have been Joey Gentile. There are 2 17s on the roster. I believe that is Gentile who had the run there. Kylie out of the pistol. Gentile in the backfield. Receivers to either side. He'll hand it off to Gentile, and he's good this time for a couple. A good stop by James Muzzy, the junior for Hopkinton. So Holliston, they only had about 40 yards of offense in the first half and not a lot on the ground at all. In fact, according to what I have here, they had -1 yards rushing in the first half, 42 yards through the air, but they are getting something going here on their first drive of the second half. Kylie going to line it up out of the gun. Gentile in the backfield, takes the snap, rolls to his right, and he's going to throw upfield, and it's batted down, nearly intercepted. A good defensive play there by Michael Burney, the junior. So Burney able to bat that one down, and that'll bring up third down. Being told it was indeed Devin Harding in the backfield and not Joey Gentile. Back up to the line goes Holliston. Facing a third and about 8 to go. Kylie out of the gun. Harding in the backfield. He'll hand it off, and here goes Harding towards the near side, and he'll have enough for the first down plus some as he's brought down at around the Hillers 40. Wyatt Stevens brings him down. And Holliston getting some well-needed momentum on this first drive for them of the second half. A pickup of about 20 yards on that last run there by Harding. And Holliston, they've struggled with the run game, but they have not stopped trying it, and you wonder, have they started to tire out this Hillers defensive front a little bit? Kylie out of the pistol this time, takes the snap, looks to his right, throws to his right, and it is incomplete. Getting the hand up was Paul Lisher. Intended target for Holliston was Rohith Ramanathan. That'll bring up second and 10 for the Panthers. As Kylie looks towards the sideline for the play call. Already on this drive, Holliston has outdone the yardage they had offensively for the entire first half. Kylie going to line it up. Out of the pistol, takes the snap, hands it off. Olsen up the middle, and he is going to have a nice gain before he's brought down by Justin Sokol. And we'll see where they marked him, close to that first down marker. So a pickup of about 9 on that run by the powerful Cooper Olsen. Kylie gonna line it up out of the gun. Olsen in the backfield. 2 receivers either side, motion along the left side. Takes the snap, hands it off. Olsen has a hole up the middle, a first down plus some. And another good run there for the Panthers. In on the stop was Paul Lisher and Robert Lisher. The ball marked about the 26-yard line. So pickup of about 14 there for Olsen. Holliston has something going here at the start of this third quarter. Kylie going to line it up out of the gun. A man in the backfield. 2 receivers either side, and he will go back to Harding for this run, but not a lot of space to work with there. In on the stop for the Hillers, Devin Canty. Bringing Harding to the ground. A minimal pickup there. Looks like they'll give him about a yard. That brings up 2nd and 9 for the Panthers. They're working from the 26-yard line, it looks like. Up to the line they go. Kylie out of the gun. It's Harding in the backfield. Two receivers spread out to his left. Takes the snap, looks to his right, throws up the middle, incomplete. Intended target there was Rohith Ramanathan. Good defensive coverage by Paul Lisher. And that brings up 3rd down for Holliston. And about 9 to go. Well, this has been really the first big drive Holliston has had in this game, and we'll see if they can extend it here. Kylie gonna line it up out of the gun with Harding in the backfield, motion along the left side, takes the snap a little high but pulls it down, hands it off to Harding, and he has a pretty good run. He was stopped, it appears, short of the 1st down by a couple of yards. But it was a pickup of several there for Harding. That brings up 4th down for Holliston, so they'll need to convert here. Well, they're starting to have success with the run, so we'll see if they go back to the rush on this 4th down situation. Kylie with an empty back set. No, there is somebody back there. Motion along the left side. And he will take the snap, gives it off to Harding. Towards the sideline he goes, and he's able to cut forward and pick up a 1st down plus some. Brought down all the way around the 10-yard line. All right. Might have got a little inside the 10, actually. Looks like they're going to mark him all the way at the 8. So a great run there by Harding. Holliston looks for the play call. Pickup of about 15 on that last run. Kylie going to line it up out of the gun. Harding in the backfield. 2 receivers spread out to either side. Takes the snap, hands it off to Harding as he'll cut to the near side again. And he's brought down after a gain of a couple. That'll bring up 2nd and goal for the Panthers. And it looks like he was able to get up to the 3-yard line there. So that was a pickup of about 5 yards. 2nd and goal from the 3 for Holliston. Kylie out of the gun, Olsen in the backfield, a receiver spread out to either side. Takes the snap, little high, pulls it down, gives it off to Olsen. Olsen trying to cut up the far side, and a good stop there by the Hillers defense. Devin Canty was able to take Olsen down, and it looks like it was a small loss there as well for Holliston. Olsen thought he would have that space along the far side, but Canty showing off the wheels there. Looks like a loss of about 3 yards. Devin Canty, he has been great on the defensive side of the ball in this game for the Hillers. He's had a lot of big stops. Let's see what they do here. Motion along the left side. Kylie out of the pistol, takes the snap, hands it off, run up the middle, pushing his way forward is Olsen. And he picks up maybe a yard or two. But a good stop there by the Hillers defensive front with Hunter Bertucci-Bissonette leading the way. Another familiar name from the JV basketball team this year. He was a great contributor to the Hillers on the basketball courts. And it looks like we are going to have a timeout here in the third quarter. It remains a 6-0 lead an 8-0 lead for the Hillers, but Holliston is threatening. Can the Hillers make another big stop in this fourth down situation? Find out next on HCAM. That was indeed the end of the third quarter, so we have switched sides and we are ready for the final frame. It is 4th and goal for Holliston. The ball marked at the Hillers 3-yard line. Kylie going to line it up out of the pistol. Olsen in the backfield. He'll fake the handoff, throws to his left, has a wide open target, and it's hauled in for a touchdown. What a great play there by Holliston. Some good trickery by Kylie. And the Hillers were certainly looking for the run there and did not see the wide open target in the end zone. And I believe that was Cooper Olsen who hauled that in. Or actually, that was Colin Kerr, I believe, number 14 for Holliston. So a 3-yard touchdown reception. That makes it an 8-6 game. Holliston likely going to go for 2 here to try to tie things up. Kylie line it up out of the gun, takes the snap. He'll hand it off, a run up the middle, pushing his way forward is Harding, but he is going to be stopped short. And the conversion will be no good for Holliston, but they do get on the board and make it an 8-6 game here in the fourth quarter. As we have a timeout on the field. Comes the special teams here on the kickoff. 8-6 Hillers lead. A good drive by Holliston. Took up the majority of the third quarter and a little bit of the fourth. The result was a 3-yard touchdown pass to Colin Kerr. And the kickoff will sail along the far side, take a good Holliston bounce back to about the 15-yard line, but the Hillers looking for a good return here as Michael Burney trying to work his way up the field, and he's able to return it to about the 27. So pretty good return there by the junior, and the Hillers will bring their offense back out. They're looking for a long drive here to eat up some clock. And of course, they would love to get into the end zone. But a clock-killing drive will be key for the Hillers. Wyatt Stevens is out there as the quarterback. And back to his right, 2 receivers either side. Takes the snap, he'll hand it off, and it's dropped by the running back. And did Holliston recover? No sign yet, and the Hillers just able to keep it. It was Colby Lavelinette on the carry, and it came right out of his hands, just kind of slipped out, but he was able to jump on it and at least keep it in Hillers' possession. It was a loss of about 3 yards on the drop, but that is certainly better than the alternative, giving Holliston the ball back deep in your territory. 2nd and 13 for the Hillers. Stevens going to line it up out of the gun. Back to his right, 2 receivers spread out to either side. Lavelinette is the back. Play action, rolls to his right. Here he goes, trying to work his way up the far side and could not find any space. A good takedown there by the Holliston defense. And on the stop, Brady Sweeney along with Owen Zakruski. And that brings up 3rd down for the Hillers. It looks like they did give him a little bit of forward progress, a couple yards. So that'll make it 3rd and 11 to go. Stevens going to line it up out of the gun, back to his left, 2 receivers either side. Calls it out, takes the snap, looks to his right, throws to his right. It is caught along the sideline. And trying to work his way upfield was Paul Lisher. He was pushed out of bounds after about a 5-yard gain. And that brings up 4th down for Hopkinton. And 7 to go. Back to the line go the Hillers. Stevens lined up out of the gun, back to his right, and he will punt it away. I'd say that's a smart move there. And the punt did not go as far as he would like. But the Holliston defense gets the job done, and they will have an opportunity to try to go ahead in this game. Holliston will start this drive from their own 48-yard line. Well, this game's certainly a classic defensive battle. between these two TVL teams, and we've seen great defense all over the field on both sides, up front in the secondary. But Holliston on their last drive was able to find the end zone. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going. Kiley out of the gun. He'll hand it off. And no, he fakes it. Play action. Throws up the middle, and it's intercepted. Picking it off is Braden Hicks. It went off the hands of his target, and Hicks is there to collect. And he will take it into Holliston territory all the way to the 40. Well, there is not much better of a time to have a big defensive play like that, and the sophomore Braden Hicks comes through huge. And the Hillers in business. That bounced right off the hands of his intended target. I believe it was Owen McCarron whose hand it hit, and right into the arms of Hicks. Ball is marked at the Holliston 40-yard line. And this time out there for the Hillers under center is Robert Lisher. He's going to line it up out of the gun, back to his left, two receivers either side. He will hand it off, and a run up the right side hash marks by Lave Lynette is good for 3 or 4. I'll bring up second down. Looks like they gave him about 5 there. The Hillers, they're going to take their time here. They're going to run a lot, try to burn some of this clock. And you're already in Holliston territory, which is good. But expect a whole lot of the run game here. Lisher out of the gun. Back to his left. 3 receivers lined up to the left side. Another run as expected. And a good one by Lave Lynette. And enough for the first down. The Hillers keeping it moving. And they are at about the 23-yard line. A 12-yard run by Lave Lynette. And he's in there as the back once again to the left of Lisher as the snap gets away from him, and he's able to jump on it, but he's brought down for a big loss as Brady Sweeney takes him to the ground. And that'll bring up second and long. Ball is marked all the way back at the 37-yard line. The initial line of scrimmage was the 26, so a loss of 11 on the botched snap. And there's been a few of those on both sides in this game. Lisher out of the gun. He'll hand it off. Lave Lynette up the far side. Finds a little room. And he gets some of that yardage lost on the previous play back. Looks like he was able to get several yards out of that one, and we'll have a timeout on the field. Holliston wants to talk things over and stop the clock. Save some time in case they're able to get the ball back. Well, the series between Hopkinton and Holliston, their respected football teams. Obviously, we had the JV2 game this past Friday. That was a good battle. Ended in a 6-0 Holliston win. And then you had the varsity game Saturday morning over at Holliston High School. Our friends over at HCAT Television in Holliston had the coverage of that one. And that was a back-and-forth game. A lot of momentum changes. Holliston came out on top 37-27. And now here in this JV1 game, another great one between these two TVL large rivals. Tom Nappy, happy to be with you on the call. John Ritz on camera. We're in the fourth quarter and 8-6 lead for the Hillers. And they are trying to extend this drive to come away with the win. Lisher out of the pistol. Abe Lynette in the backfield. Play action. Rolls to his left. Throws upfield, and it's intercepted. And that is just what Holliston needed there. He tries to throw up the middle, and jumping up and picking it off was Miguel De Jesus. And the Panthers are still very much alive in this one as they get the ball back. They will have it at the, looks like about the 10-yard line. So they'll have some work to do here. But they are certainly happy to have an opportunity at another drive. And a chance to come away with the game if they're successful. As they look to the sidelines for the play call. Holliston will work left to right across your screen from their own 10. Out of the pistol, it's going to be a handoff coming out of the eye there, and a pickup of a couple. And there is a flag on the field, and it is going to be against the Hillers. So another big break here for Holliston as the chains will move. I believe the call might have been for a horse collar tackle. Ball is marked all the way up to the 28-yard line. Out of the pistols, Kylie will hand it off, and it's a run up the middle and a good one. A pickup of several yards there by Harding. And that'll make it a 2nd and 1 to go. So 9-yard pickup by Harding. Holliston will have to work quickly on this drive. And again, the scoreboard's off. Unfortunately, we're not quite sure how much time is left, but there's not a whole lot, we can tell you that. And they'll give it off to Harding again, and he'll have enough for the first down. Got just enough there to move the chains. 1st and 10 now from the 45-yard line. Holliston going to work in a hurry-up style offense here with time running low. Kylie out of the gun. 2 backs to his right. He'll hand it off to the up back, and it is going to be Harding crossing midfield. And he gets to the Hillers' 48-yard line. And that was a pickup of 7 yards there. Another good burst up the middle by Harding. Kylie out of the gun, takes the snap, hands it off once again, and this time they're ready for him. Harding is going to be stopped for a loss. Brought down back in Holliston territory as getting in on the tackle was Riley Finnegan. And the junior had a sack earlier in the game, gets a big stop here. Put the ball back to the Hopkinton 49, but a loss of a couple on the run attempt. And Holliston forced to call a timeout with the clock continuing to run. they're going to talk things over and try to come up with a couple of big plays to get a score before this game runs out of time. Back to the line they go. Kylie out of the gun. Two receivers spread out to either side with a man in the backfield. Takes the snap, and he is in trouble. Went play action, but did not fool the defense, and he's brought down for a loss. Robert Lisher leading the way on the sack. And the Holliston Panthers take their last time out of the game, and they are facing a fourth down situation, so if they don't convert here, that'll pretty much close the books on this one. It is a 4th and 10 situation from the 46-yard line. And this has been a great battle between these two teams. Very well-played game. And just some great defensive football. Both of these teams should be thrilled with the defensive talent that they have moving through the ranks. And obviously there was some great offensive plays as well in the second half. Harding really broke through for Holliston. Devin Harding, the freshman, so he'll be a player to watch. But just some great plays on both sides by both these teams. Here we go. 4th down situation for Holliston. They need to convert here. 4th and 10. Kylie takes the snap, rolls to his right, in trouble, throws up the middle, no one's there. And it'll be a turnover on downs. And the Hillers may be able to run out the clock here, as Holliston has run out of timeouts. A tremendous defensive effort by the Hillers. This Holliston team has a lot of great talent in their offense, and to hold them to 6 points is pretty unbelievable. So the Hillers get it at the Holliston 45. And they'll likely stick to the run game here to keep that clock moving. You got Wyatt Stevens out there. He'll line it up out of the gun, back to his right. Two receivers either side. Takes the snap, pulls it down, and he is going to do the smart thing there and just take the down. That was a loss of 5. That brings up 2nd down for the Hillers, but the clock keeps moving. Holliston is out of timeouts. And the Hillers will burn away all the time they can, as they are trying to cling on to an 8-6 lead here. Stevens out of the gun. The back to his left is Mulvaney. Calls it out, takes the snap, hands it off to Mulvaney, who will cut up the far side, find some room, and he is going to do everything he can to stay in bounds, and I believe he did, to keep the clock rolling. A good run there by Mulvaney. That was a pickup of about 6. And Holliston, they were trying to push him out to get the stoppage. But Mulvaney did the smart thing there. Didn't try to push for an extra couple of yards, which could have backfired, and just went down. Stevens out of the gun. Mulvaney to his left. Two receivers either side. he's going to burn all the clock he can. Maybe try to draw him off sides. He'll take it himself. Here he goes to the near side. And he's brought down, a little short of the first down. Looks like he's about a yard shy. Make that 2. So we picked up about a yard on that last run. That brings up 4th down, and the Hillers letting the clock run. And that is going to do it. The Hillers are going to hang on for the 8-6 win. A tremendous defensive performance by the Hopkinton Hillers, and they're able to take the victory over a very good Holliston Panthers team. Boy, what a fun matchup this was. And there are many you could consider the player of the game. Riley Finnegan certainly had some big plays on defense. Devin Canty as well. Robert Lisher was huge on both sides of the ball. I think you certainly would have to go with a defensive player, as it was an incredible defensive performance by the Hillers to stop this potent Holliston offense. But the final score for the final time, the Hopkinton Hillers JV1 team takes down Holliston by a final score of 8-6. For John Ritz on camera, I'm Tom Nappy. We thank you for watching. This has been Hopkinton Hillers JV Football on HCAM. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon.